Hey, I know I haven't come on here in a really long time, but life has just been very busy and very full of just work and ministry and doing all the things and going all the places, but I haven't taken the time to really slow down and rest. And so I just wanted to update you guys all on where I'm at with this whole COVID-19 and just where I'm at. So we here in Washington are on a very strict quarantine because it's one of the highest rates of confirmed cases, and it's spreading rapidly. And so we're trying to just like cause the curve to go down. And so we are being asked to not gather in groups larger than 50, preferably less than 10, to just keep the exposure rates down. And we are being stuck in our homes. Like all schools are closed for 6 weeks, and as a long-term substitute teacher, that means no work for me for 6 weeks. It's confusing. I don't understand what God's doing in this. I felt like my life was just starting to get back to normalcy, and then this happened. But already I'm finding ways to praise him and to thank him for what he's done and what he's doing in this. I've noticed that people are being more intentional with their conversations and with how they communicate with one another. I've had the chance this week alone to FaceTime and talk on the phone with some people that I have been meaning to talk to for a really long time and just catch up. I also have noticed that people are having to think about like how easy and accessible church was, and now that things are harder and you're not allowed to meet as a congregation because that exceeds the number of people allowed to gather together, churches are having to be more intentional with how they reach their community. Churches are going online and putting out live podcasts and live streams on Facebook and other resources. My ministry has shut down until further notice because we can't gather together. So we have to find ways to gather as a smaller community, and it's looking more and more like the early church in Acts. And so that's really cool to see, but it's also kind of heartbreaking to see these people in need of fellowship, in need of community, not getting to have that around them in that capacity. And so we're having to find different ways to be there for one another and to fellowship. And so it's just so interesting to see God's hand in that. And it's also just like so cool to see how dependence on him has really grown during this time, in unknown and uncertainty and panic and fear. He has the space to be the thing that people go to. People who probably waver in their faith a lot are leaning into him and looking to him in this time. And so it's just so cool to see the revival that we've prayed for so long happening. It just doesn't look the way that we thought it would look. And so in this time, even though I'm unsure where my financial means will come from, and I'm unsure when I'll get to leave my house again, and I'm unsure just what things will look like in a few weeks, God is still good, and he's still on the throne, and he's still our good Father, and he loves us, and he asks us to trust him. And so in this time, I'm not living in fear. I'm trusting him and his his goodness and that he is faithful, and that's all we can really do. So I encourage you to do the same, to reach out to people who might be needing community, call people, write them letters, stay off of Facebook and the craziness that is being just happening over there, and just gather together as families and loved ones, and just tell people you love them. That's what we can do. Love Jesus, love people in your life, and just keep going. So I love you all, and I'm doing okay. I'm processing it, and I am leaning into God. So bye.